welcome to the channel. I know we're starting a bit late, but hey, why waste the last few months of the NFL season, right? In today's video, I'll be breaking down my favorite bets for Week 12 of the NFL season. We'll dive into each game, my top picks, and of course, my best bets for this week. So, without further ado, let's get into the picks. All right, first up on the slate, we've got the Chiefs taking on the Panthers. The line here is set at -11 for the Chiefs, with the total over/under at 43. This one's definitely a tough call. On one hand, the Chiefs haven't exactly been living up to their usual standards this season, and the Panthers have been playing surprisingly solid football. But here's the twist. The Chiefs are coming off their first loss, which makes this game a bit more intriguing. If I had to lean one way, I'd go with the Panthers +11. It's a big spread, and I think Carolina can keep it closer than that. Next, we got the Vikings at the Bears. The Vikings are -3.5, with the over set at 39.5. I like the Bears here. They played hard last week and should have won that game against the Packers. Sam Darnold has really slowed down from that hot start, and Chicago's D should be able to keep it close. Next, we got the Titans at the Texans. The line here is set to Texans -8, and the over is set to 40.5. This is a tough one, and I'm staying away. Next, we got the Lions versus the Colts. This line is coming down and is not Lions -7.5. The over is set to 50. This is really an interesting game because I feel like we're due for a Lions stinker, kind of like what happened when they played the Bucs. The Colts and Anthony Richardson looked really good last week, granted versus the Jets, but still. And that is my favorite bet here for this game. Anthony Richardson, anytime, TD at 175, on bet 365. Also, I do lean Colts. I have a sneaky feeling the Colts are going to upset the Lions. Indy's offensive line is 6th in the league in run block win rate. And if they can get Jonathan Taylor into the second level, he can explode for some big plays. Next, we got the Patriots at the Dolphins. The line here is Dolphins -7, and the over is set at 46. I would take the Dolphins here, but this will be close. But I do like the Dolphins to win here, and Tua over 225 yards at 100. Next up, we've got the Buccaneers taking on the Giants. On paper, New York might seem like a smart pick, but with all the drama swirling around that team, it's tough to confidently back them right now. Instead, my favorite play here is Baker Mayfield over 13.5 rushing yards. The Giants' defense is giving up an average of 29 rushing yards to quarterbacks who like to take off, and their D-line, while strong, has been exploited on the ground by guys like Joe Burrow and Geno Smith. Baker is not only more mobile than both of them, but also much more willing to use his legs. I think he easily clears this number. Another bet I like is Bucky Irving over 14.5 longest rush. Irving has stood out as the more effective runner. Head coach Todd Bowles has hinted that Irving could see increased opportunities if he maintains his strong performance. Coming off their bye week, the Bucs face the New York Giants, whose run defense has been abysmal. The Giants have given up the 4th most rushing yards per game, the highest yards per carry, the most runs of 20-plus yards, and the 9th most missed tackles this season. Over the past 4 weeks, they've been even worse, surrendering 193.3 rushing yards per game and allowing 11 runs of 15-plus yards. Next, we've got the Cowboys as 10-point favorites against the Commanders, with the total set at 45. My favorite bet for this game is Brian Robinson Jr. over his rushing yards. The Cowboys have struggled against the run, and we just saw Joe Mixon put up over 100 yards against them at 160 odds on Monday. Robinson averages about 15 touches per game, and if he gets that workload, he should comfortably hit 70 to wind up a few losses. Moving on to the Broncos versus the Raiders. The Broncos are getting 6 points on the road, with the over/under at 41. This feels like a big line for what I'd call a good, but not great, Raiders team. My pick here is Javonte Williams' anytime touchdown at 160. He's clearly established himself as Denver's #1 back, and he's been heating up in recent weeks. I think he finds the end zone in this one. Denver should be able to put up a lot of points this week, which is only a bonus as well. Next, we got the 49ers versus the Packers. The Packers are giving 3 points with the over set at 46.5. The 49ers are spiraling, and that is why I am taking them +3. I think the Packers will win, but I think this game is super close and can see the 49ers winning outright. Now, if Brock gets ruled out before the game, I would hammer the Packers. Jordan Love has been great since last year, but he is turning the ball over a lot. And against a desperate team like the 49ers, that screams a recipe for a die-setter. Next, we got the Cardinals and Seahawks, which I think might be the best game of the week. It's a pick'em game with the over set at 47.5. I'm taking James Conner over 67.5. I am even sprinkling a little on over 100 yards at +270. The Seahawks can be had on the ground. We watched the Patriot, torch them for over 160 yards on the ground, and pretty much everyone else. The Vogie are giving up an average of 5 yards a carry, which is the 4th worst in the NFL. Now for Sunday Night Football, we've got the Eagles taking on the Rams. The Eagles are giving 2.5 points with the total set at 49. This should be a fantastic game. My favorite pick here is Puka Nacua over 6.5 catches at 115. The Eagles have a strong secondary, which means the Rams will likely rely on quick, short passes to move the ball effectively. That plays right into Nacua's role as a reliable target in the short game. As for the game, I lean Eagles minus the points. The Eagles look good, and they should be able to get a good pass rush, as well as be able to run the ball. I'll take the hotter team here with the Eagles. Finally, to wrap up the week, we've got the Harbauble, a matchup of the Harbaugh brothers. The Ravens are 2.5-point favorites against the Chargers. This one should be a fun game, and there are a ton of storylines here, with Greg Roman playing his Fringer team, as well as the running backs for the Chargers. Give me the Ravens minus 2.5. The Chargers are good, but the high emotionally game last Sunday night in a game where they almost blew the game, and the Ravens off a loss. Lamar Jackson is incredible in Monday Night Football. He has a passer rating of 124.0 with 1,772 yards and 20 touchdowns in 8 games on Mondays in his career, and has a 6-2 record. Another bet I like here is that of Mark Andrews, who is over 33.5 yards. The Chargers are below average against tight ends, and I think the tight end pass is going to be a national standard. A 9 out of 10 start for Brock Bowers is going to be wide open for the Ravens in this game. We've seen Travis Kelce go for over 100. Brock Bowers go for 50 yards, and Trey McBride go for almost 42 yards.